Hello, this is D Simon from DuelingDays. I'm here to just do a quick video on gameplay of how to play my latest deck creation, AHA, or otherwise known as Ancient Heavy Artillery. So the deck is created by me, and it kind of focuses on spamming your few early game with big monsters to overwhelm your opponent. So the main two monsters which are constantly summoned out in this game, in this deck, will be actually either one of these two: Machina Fortress and Antique Gear Gadgetron Dragon. Okay, the main monster that inspired this whole deck will be Machina's Fortress, which can be found in your Machina structure deck. Alright, so its nice stats of 2500 attack lets you mow over any basic monsters your opponent can throw you early game, destroy any big monsters in the later game as well through its destroy by battle ability. Its destroy by battle ability lets you destroy any card on the field when it dies by battle. That's one of the effects. The second effect will be that when it's targeted by opponent monster effect, you can actually confiscate the opponent, namely see his hand and discard one card from there. Works very well against Gale, Bryonic, Gladiator Beast, the fish, and quite any other monster based effects that you can think of. Alright. The last ability, which is the biggest and most important one, is that you can discard any amount of machine monsters as long as they total of 8 stars and above to summon out Machina Fortress. Alright. And in case any of you are wondering, yes, you can discard 2 copies of Machina Fortress to your grave and summon 1 copy to hand. Alright, because there's a cost effect. Okay, how does this deck work out? Alright, it's through a few other cards which is found in the Machina structure deck. Alright, the biggest one mainly will be Machina's Gearframe. It's a 1800 basic monster. It's a union monster as well. Its main effect is that when it's normal summon, you can search out any Machina into your hand. So it will mainly search out Machina Fortress 90% of the time, and that last extra kick is a little bit of type which I added in, which is Machina Force. And this deck, Machina Force has no effect at all. Its main basic points is that you can search it out through Machina Gearframe and can discard it to summon out any Machina Fortress that you actually already have in your grave or your hand. Alright. Other cards that support this deck is Machina's Peacekeeper. Its effect of when it's destroyed by any ability, you can use it to search for a union monster in your deck. Namely, use it to search for Machina's Gearframe, and you can start your combos from there. Being a union monster as well allows you to equip it to a machine monster and protect it from any destroy ability, and yet when it protects it, even in the equipment form, you will still get a search for a union monster ability. Alright, and the last card that will support this gameplay of Machina Fortress is Prophet of Creation, which is also found, I believe, in the Dragon structure deck. Alright, its ability of discarding one hand to add back any high level monsters 7 and above is very useful in this deck, because it's kind of a discard one card to summon out a Machina Fortress in your grave. Alright, how does that work? Let's say Machina's Force and the Machina Fortress is in your grave. Alright, you can just discard any card from your hand, add back Machina Force, and then after that discard Machina Force again, summon Machina Fortress onto field. Alright, if these two cards happen to be in your hand, you can even discard, summon, discard for high level, alright, then discard the high level again and summon out Machina Fortress. So it's a pretty quick summon ability for this deck, which is useful. Alright, the other monster which this deck is based on is heavy attack abilities, as mentioned, Antique Gear Gadgetron Dragon. Okay, so this deck will use, of course, Gear City, 3 copies of it, and 3 copies of Terraforming, so that you can quickly search up multiple copies of Gear City, replace and summon out more Antique Gear Gadgetron Dragon. So one extra tag in this deck for another few card is Gaia Power, because other than your Prophet of Creation, every other single monster in this deck is an Earth monster, so it adds on to the attack base for your deck. Thanks to Darius for suggesting this one, and it's very useful because you quite often end up with a few very easily. I'll say maybe one Machina Gearframe and two Machina Fortress on your field, which the total damage is only 6,800, but yet with a Gaia Power on the field, that becomes an OTK instead. So it's a useful card. Alright, now one extra tag that's useful in this deck is through Big Freeze, Cold Wave, whatever you call it, because of Machina Fortress monster ability of Confiscation. It's very useful because when you actually use your Cold Wave, you can summon out your Machina Fortress and not worry about anything funny happening to it. Because if they manage to destroy it through monster effects, you'll get to confiscate their hand and then just check it out for anything which you might not like, say Battle Fader, Gauss, or Trachodia, the main 3 OTK stopper cards. Alright, and that's quite about the deck. Thank you very much, hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to post me any questions if you have any of them on how to play this deck even further. Thank you.